Which list should you be targeting in your wholesale real estate business using Propstream? Using Propstream in targeting lists does take knowledge of the housing market, but the benefit to this video is that I've done the research for you. I'm actually going to share my screen with you all, share the different articles that I've been reading about the housing market, and also share my Propstream account on screen and share with you all how I'm targeting the different lists and which lists that I'm targeting, and you can use these lists in your business, and hopefully you can get a wholesale deal pretty soon, maybe before this year ends, hopefully. So if you all are interested in using Propstream, please check my link down below. With my link, you get a 7 free day trial. You get a full week testing out the software to see if it's something that you want to use in your business. So if you want to support this channel and you want to check out Propstream, check out my link down below. Now I'm going to share my screen with you all and share with you all which are the best lists that you should be targeting right now in your real estate wholesale business. All right, so the first article that I want to pull up about the housing market, and this is interesting because they actually use this keyword zombie, which is a very specific type of property that Propstream also uses on their software. So this is great. So zombie foreclosures are on the rise on fourth quarter across the U.S. as lenders pursue more delinquent mortgages. So what are zombie properties? So zombie properties is a double whammy. So you get properties that are in foreclosures, and on top of that, they are vacant properties. And so some of them are foreclosed, some of them are in pre-foreclosures, right? And so this has been increasing over the past couple of months, past couple of quarters. They said that it released its fourth quarter 2023 vacant property and zombie foreclosure report showing that 1.3 million properties are vacant. And that represents 1.27 million percent, or one in 78 homes across the nation, virtually the same as third quarter of this year. But so vacant homes and foreclosures tick upward for the seventh straight quarter. For the seventh straight quarter, vacant homes and foreclosure, which are zombie properties, are up for the seventh straight quarter. So that's an increase of 1.4% quarterly and 15.3% annually. So what does all of this information mean for you as you are pursuing wholesale real estate and as it regards to pulling a list using Propstream? So I just pulled up a random city, Cleveland, Ohio. They have around 327 properties. So I'm going to go down here to filters. I'm going to go to zombie properties. Let's see how many zombie properties are in Cleveland, Ohio. Wow, 601 properties. Honestly, that's a lot because zombie properties are such a specific list that a lot of cities I look for, even larger than Cleveland, they don't have this much zombie properties. But maybe Cleveland, maybe because the area is not as, I don't know, high class as other cities. But they have a good amount of zombie properties. So I would definitely target this list because I believe these are not only properties that are in foreclosures, but properties that are in pre-foreclosure. So you still have time, you still have a way to reach the seller and stop foreclosure from happening or to buy their house. Either put them under contract, or if you're flipping a property or you are holding it as a rental and you have cash or you have hard money, you can go to the bank if it's in foreclosure and get this property. So that's the very first list I will pull right now in my real estate wholesale business are zombie properties. So it's a very quick list on Propstream, and it makes it super easy to find that. And once again, if you all are interested in using this awesome software, check my link down below. Now, my second list that I'm going to pull, you have to understand the housing market, understand when things are really going to hit. We're entering colder months here, all the way up to like March. So we have a good 4 to 5 months of just colder weather, and understand, okay, people may not move as much, especially during holidays, but still push out marketing no matter what, because this will set you apart from all the other wholesalers who are taking a break during the holidays. This will set you apart. So instead of them receiving 5 mailers on Thanksgiving, they may receive only one, and it may be only from you, right? Or they may receive only one phone call around the holidays, and it may be from you. And so If someone is really looking to sell, they will find you. So going on Propstream, we're going to use Cleveland, Ohio again. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a very broad list. So I'm going to look for vacant properties, right, that are non-owner occupied. So it's not 100% broad, but these are vacant properties, right? And so vacant properties, the good thing about vacant properties, especially during the winter, is that no one has to move out of their properties because these are vacant properties. That's why I'm saying, like, you have to understand the market, understand where are we in the real estate cycle, in the housing market cycle, in order to target the best list. Because we have a good 4 or 5 months of cold weather coming up here soon. So I'm going to click vacant right here. And we're down to 18,000 properties that are vacant. Now you can, honestly, obviously the property would be non-owner occupied, so I don't think that would change much, but it does. But yeah, so these are properties that are not owned by, these are properties that are owned by someone, but they never lived in the property. Property characteristics, what we're going to do, let's just stick to single family for this list, all right? So that's 5,400 properties. Classification, we're going to put residential. Honestly, that shouldn't change much, so you don't really have to do much with that. Now, you can drill down even more. You can go into like, hey, I don't want a super large property. I don't want an old property or things of that nature. You can do that if you want. MLS status, not on the market. I don't want any properties on the market. I don't think that changed anything really. 5190. Yeah, that did change some actually. So that's good. Next thing, ownership information. Now, years of ownership, you want to make sure the owner owned the property for at least 5 years, right? Especially before the pandemic, where they captured enough gains on the property that they can sell this property because they got it at a cheaper price. And maybe they're a little bit more tired of the property than someone that just bought their property. So I'm going to put the minimum years of ownership to 5 years. Let's see how low it goes. Now we're down to 2,700 properties. Honestly, this is a great list. You can target this amount of people, especially if you're sending out mailers. But what I'm going to do to add another layer to this list is I'm going to put estimated equity, and I'm going to put it at 30%. So they own at least 70% of the they own at least 30% of the property, not 70%. They may have 70% owed on the property, but this doesn't take into account like so much the appreciation of the property. So I want them to own at least 30% of the property. This is a great list, 2,600 properties. You can call that list. You can mail that list. You can text, drop voicemails on that list and different things like that. But of course, abide by, your state's laws and everything around that jazz. And so understanding that is important to, getting that property. Now, the third list that I want to target, just understanding the market, understanding what's happening with everything, is that we have low inventory, right? And so even though the housing market does slow down during the winter and the fall and into early next year, the start of the year, there's going to be a time starting in March when people are going to be wanting to move. And on top of that, we're already short of inventory. So I don't think the drop, like the seasonality of real estate, is going to affect us so much because we already have super low inventory, right? And so people are still looking for affordable housing. And so you have to think that your end buyer are looking for properties that they can start flipping right now, get ready. And when spring hits, once March 1st hits, once April hits, boom, their house is ready on the market for a buyer to come buy that property. And so this is probably going to be a larger list. And so one of the best lists that I got a lot of my deals from is just a super broad list. I know it's super broad, but they work every time. And so many people are targeting, but I got majority of my list from here. So owner occupied property, honestly, it can be any. Honestly, it can be any. But I drill into these other things. So let's stick to single family again. Residential. And then MLS status. I don't want it on the MLS. I'm going for off market. Owner. I'm going to put an individual owner. I don't want to target corporations or LLC. Now, years of ownership, I'm going to go high with this. I'm going to put like 12 years. You may think that's super high, but trust me, you want to go high with this. Now, number of properties owned, I don't want someone that owns multiple properties. So max property owned, let's say 1 property, honestly. Now, I want to include unknown sales date. And then from here, I'm going to go evaluation and equity. Now, I don't want to go to a property that's estimated super high, so I'm going to put my max estimated value at like 500,000, honestly, because I don't want a ton of properties. Now, estimated equity, I'm going to go super high. I'm going to go like 90% or more, right? And that drops it down to 32,000. Yeah. If that's a list, I know there's 32,000, but you can break this off. You can do it the first 1,000, then the second 1,000, then the third 1,000 until you reach the whole list. And I can guarantee you from this list, you can find someone who's willing to sell, who owned their property for 12 or more years, right? Who owns at least 90% or more of their property. All right, you all, hope you all enjoyed this video on which list that you should target in your wholesale real estate business using Propstream. If you are interested, once again, in using Propstream, check my link down below. With my link, you get a 7 free day trial. Comment down below if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you all later.